Hey Outlaws, so Microsoft is edging closer to actually buying Activision Blizzard, but has been once again blocked by the FTC filing an appeal with the court system in order to keep them from actually following through and finishing their purchase. Now, last week originally, Microsoft was given the green light to purchase and finish their deal with Activision by consuming and buying Activision Blizzard. That was obviously made... That judgment was made by Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley from San Francisco. San Francisco is an interesting place. But then the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, appealed that decision and slowed down the process, saying that they have not finished their full report showing that Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard would actually create an unfair competition. Now, originally, the judge stated that the court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood it will prevail on its claim this particular vertical merger in the specific industry may substantially lessen competition. Judge Corley wrote in the ruling, to the contrary, the record evidence points to more consumer access to Call of Duty and other Activision content. Now, what she means by that is that Microsoft is giving a 10-year deal where other systems, other platforms will have access to Call of Duty as opposed to what originally was given. Now, to my understanding, Call of Duty has always been readily available across the board, so not really sure what they mean by that. But that does prove the point that even though Microsoft is purchasing Activision Blizzard, which does put it at a bigger advantage than Sony and Nintendo, it doesn't specifically completely wipe them out of the market because they're still getting them access to Call of Duty for those 10 years. And let's be honest, at this point, consoles are just not going to exist 10 years from now. They're just going to go poof, disappear. They're pretty much right now already just PCs as far as I'm concerned, just with little DVD players still attached to them. And although it's, in my opinion, best to own physical copies of merchandise, especially when you have particular video games that creators like, it's like recently like the Skullgirls, where creators will come in and then edit things out that the consumer originally purchased. People continue to go for more and more digital, so that's neither here nor there. So anyways, so this is now put on hold again. The appeal is going through, and the FTC is trying to finish its own report that will show that if this in fact will interfere with competition across the board, Nintendo and Sony. Now, the thing is, even if Microsoft gains this as well, because remember, Microsoft recently purchased Bethesda, they acquired it. Just because one company has access or has purchased multiple IPs and owns multiple creative content across the board doesn't necessarily mean that they'll keep it forever or that they'll even do a good job with it. What the biggest one, obviously, in the entertainment industry comes to mind is Disney, and how recently, with its failure of Indiana Jones missing its estimate to basically hit theaters for its rebound. So they posted Disney only posted $60 million in North American ticket sales with the latest Indiana Jones, the dial of failure, basically at this point. The dial of failed destiny, $60 million, when previous installment series delivered a $100 million debut. And that's the one where it's like Indiana Jones, he gets with the wife again and his son's like going all the crazy moves and flying across the jungle with the monkeys and the big ants come and eat the Nazi guy. So it's not looking too good. And then obviously you can take a look at the Star Wars merchandise as well. Sometimes it's great, like the video games do really well. Other times the movies, not so much. So just because a big corporation like Microsoft owns all these creative IPs doesn't necessarily mean that they'll do a great job with them or that they will keep them, because there are rumors as well that Disney is going to be selling Star Wars. I haven't seen anything definitive yet, but we'll see. Okay, Outlaws, we'll keep an eye on this one, see if Activision Blizzard is going to be purchased by Microsoft. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I think they will. I think they will succeed in finally consuming them. But it looks like it's going to get dragged out a little bit longer. Who knows why? All right, we'll see you next time.